Hey guys, how's it going? And thanks for coming. I'm Nick, and this is Real Life Money, where we talk about real life and money, because you know schools aren't, so let's get started. So in this video, we're going over how to buy stocks. Super simple, basic video we got going on, and toward the end, I'm going to be going over a special tip that you can make it even easier to buy stocks. So before going any further, I just want to let you guys know that it is even easier than you could imagine to actually buy a stock. If you have a bank account online, it's basically the same thing, but instead of having different accounts in the stock account, you'll have different stocks. Starting it right up, let's start right there with the first thing that you have to do is pick an actual brokerage account. Just like a bank, you need to go into the bank to do whatever you have to do. For a brokerage account, it's the same exact thing. You could use, and there's a bunch out there, so I'll give you a list of them. So definitely, in my opinion, I think the most popular and newest one out there is Robinhood. So I definitely suggest that. There's TD Ameritrade, there's Fidelity. For like retirement accounts, there's also Vanguard. I'll be going into a little bit more detail of those individual ones in a couple seconds, but you basically have to choose one of those and then you go with it. You have to link it to your bank account, verify that it's your account and all that stuff, set up your personal information, and it's straightforward. So once you're all good with that one, you have to move on to the second one, is the money part. You need money for this account. So going into each individual account now. The first one, like I said before, Robinhood, the newest one out there, definitely popular, and especially if you're a beginner, is one that I would personally suggest. There's no minimum balance. You just need at least one share. So let's say a stock that you're looking at is $5. All you need is $5. And there is no fees to actually trade. Unlike the other brokerages, for example, like TD Ameritrade, they charge $6.95 per trade. So when you buy a stock, $6.95. If you sell it, $6.95. So that's why Robinhood stands out, because you don't have to pay per trade, which is awesome. But TD Ameritrade, last time I checked, does not have a minimum balance either. Other one is Fidelity. They charge $4.95 per trade, so a little bit cheaper than Ameritrade, but the minimum balance that they require is $2,500. So a little bit more there, but the per trade is slightly less. And real quick, the last one I'd suggest for retirement accounts, if you want to get involved with Roth IRAs, you could definitely use Vanguard. Very, very low fees. They're a little bit different because they don't charge per trade if you're dealing with mutual funds inside of your retirement account. But that minimum might be, let's say, like $2,500, similar to Fidelity. But their fees are involved with the mutual funds, so you really don't have to pay that up front. Nonetheless, if you're a beginner, Robinhood is a good place to start. If you're interested, I actually have a link in the description. If you sign up through that link, you'll be able to get a free share of a stock. And I will too. It's a referral program, I'll let you guys know. But it's pretty cool. You'll be able to get a share of maybe from a few bucks. I think they said up to $250. But the few shares that I got usually ranges in the couple dollar area. Now you need to have something to start out with. You can't just invest in stocks with no money at all. So let's say if you have like $100, you should definitely try for the future to continue on that path. So if you saved $100 this month, you should continue to see if you could do it for the next month and the next month. So then every month you're able to save $100 and you're able to invest that. That is a great strategy, by the way, for retirement accounts as well. You just set up an automatic transfer into your retirement account. So every month you put in, let's say, $100 and it grows without you even knowing. So that's basically the boring setting up process. Once you set it up, you don't have to do that ever again because you're already set up. Now, the interesting part of actually buying stocks. It's about time, right? Well, you first have to figure out what type of stock you want to get into. There are more risky stocks. There are safer stocks. You know, you could focus on growth or you could focus on dividends. You really have to decide what type of person you are. If you have a stock and it goes up and down, could you sleep at night? If you can't, you shouldn't get that type of stock. You should have a safer one. So I'll be flashing some companies on the screen just to give you guys some examples. But these are all stocks that you could buy, and that amount is per share. So you basically have to look at the company, see how you want to deal with it. Some growth companies, maybe like a Netflix, Facebook type of thing, that is more growth oriented versus maybe like a dividend stock, maybe like a Starbucks, maybe like a Johnson & Johnson or Verizon. They're more stable in a way and pay you a dividend just for holding. That's why they're safer. Now I do have 3 stocks that I'm buying for the next month, guys. Next month is, what the heck's the next month? April 2018. I'll be going over 3 stocks that I'm watching. Definitely very interesting. So if you guys want to check that out, stay tuned. I'll probably release that like next week. And I have 1 stock that is very, very interesting. I never heard of it before. You guys probably haven't heard of it before. But definitely check it out. But for the first stock that you buy, I would definitely suggest something you understand. Like if you go with Starbucks, you know what they do. They sell coffee, and it's not a difficult business to understand. Another type of investment, in case you don't know which stock to buy, right? There's so many stocks out there. Which one should you choose? Well, there are things called ETFs, exchange traded funds. So basically, it's like a package of stocks. It might have Apple, Verizon, Johnson & Johnson, McDonald's in there. I'm just making companies up. But they have a bunch of companies in one package, so you could buy that package instead of different companies. I did have a recent video of like the top ETFs out there. Again, link in the description if you guys want to check it out. But ETFs are a great way definitely to start to get your feet wet, especially if you have no idea what's going on. So we're doing good, right guys? We set it up, we got the money needed, we chose the stock that we want. And now the 4th thing that you have to realize when you're buying stocks is that you need to constantly learn about just everything, money in general, about the stock market, gaining experience. And, maybe watching more videos of my channel. Other channels out there are great. Go on Yahoo Finance. That's what I mostly use. Of just to check different stocks out and look at the news. Keep with the investing, especially for the long term. That's what you really have to realize. You have to look toward your future. You're not going to hold this thing for 2 days. At least that's not something that I would suggest. This is something maybe a few years, several years, or even longer. So in most situations, companies are going to be priced higher in 10 years than they are today. That's why I think stocks are a great investment. And the reason why we're doing this, guys, is to grow our money for the future. You can't just put it in a savings account and expect it to grow. And you do have to think of your future. You can't live your life day by day like just thinking of 5 seconds into the future. If you're living longer, if you have a family, if you're going to college or for retirement, you're going to need money for that. And this is a great way to grow your wealth. And remember that special tip I talked about? Well, here's the thing. There are different types of orders that you could do with the stock as well. So the first one is a market order. The second one is a limit order. So let's say you're looking at a stock. Let's pick Starbucks. They're maybe around $60 now. Let's say they're at 62 or whatever. A market order is buying that stock right then and there at $62. Something that's cool is using a limit order. You don't have to watch the stock every second hoping that it goes down so you get at a better price. If you have a limit order of, let's say, $60, you could completely walk away. So when that stock hits $60, you're not even looking at it, you buy that stock. Even easier. So those are the basics of how to buy a stock, guys. One thing that I would just stress a lot is constantly learn more about anything that you're looking into, whether it's money, investing, or just life in general. never stop learning. So if you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, please leave them down below. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel, Real Life Money, where we talk about real life and money, because I believe we could get a hold of our money and stop following the man. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.